All right, welcome back to a wonderful Sunday here. It is October 13th. We are back with the BNR Cup Series at Texas for race number 5. You can see on your screen qualifying is underway. That right there is Tyler Myers in the number 24 Exalta machine, making his way around the track. And his first time lap, here he comes. Gonna be a 29.83. Zach Deutscher up top with a 29.28. Everyone at least half a second, as you can see, off from his time. Let's go right along with what he just completed his second lap. His second lap a little bit slower. Mike Slaughter going up there in the second position. Everybody just slowly climbing the ranks here and qualifying. Sorry, a lot of you were tuned into the previous live. Was having some technical difficulties and had to restart, which ended up pretty much forcing me to restart a whole new live here. But we are gonna make it through it. I don't know if it's just iRacing, but having a few connection issues with some of the drivers. So let's just hope that we can get through it. So far so good now that we're live with the race instead of just the background intro. But Nathan Line on the track, gonna put down his opening lap here. He took the green flag down the backstretch. Texas, a really nice, a fun track here, to say the least. It's got some... It's just one of those mile and a halves. On my list of favorite tracks, Texas is probably number 3 or 4. Followed by Las Vegas, Kansas, and then I think about Texas. I think Texas I can put there. Talladega might be in front of Texas, but as far as mile and a halves, Texas is 3rd favorite. So far, Nathan Line a 30.22. That's going to be good enough right now for the 19th position as he heads into turn 4, out of turn 4, into the tri-oval entrance here. And a 29.94. So going to pick up one position there from qualifying to the 17th starting position so far. Jesse Gordon on track in the number 10. Going down the backstretch, his first lap with 29.70. And coming around turn 4 exit. It did not count that lap. Yeah, it did not count his second lap. I must have brushed the wall, or I'm not 100% sure. Yep, so his qualifying efforts are done. Did not count that that second lap there. But anyway, I've got Will in the booth with me. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing pretty good, Chris. How about you?
Pretty well. Alright, let's roll off. The grid has been set. Row number 1, we got Zach Deutscher and Matthew Hunsaker. On row number 2, we got James Hudson and Philip Bridgman. Row 3, Brandon Moore and Brian Huntley Jr. In row 4, Troy Daggett and Justin Steves. Row 5, we got Skylar Sixton and Josh Small. In row 6, Mike Slaughter and Jesse Gordon. Looking back a little bit further, in row 7, we got Tyler Myers and Aaron Bradford. Row 8, Anthony Lane and Matt Bryant. Row 9, Nathan Line and Joe Stipe. Row 10, Xavier Sagato and Chris Campbell. Row 11, Robert Amaral and Tyler Martin. Row 12, Paul Lawson and Bill Hales. And rounding out that final row, we got Pete Woodrum and Kevin Roy. All right, everyone on the grid, they're gonna roll off now. I always love the different tracks and their grids, whether they're side by side on the pit exit or they're lined up towards the pit entrance. And then you got Charlotte where everyone kind of lines up on that start-finish line.
Yeah, I like the grids like that as well. It makes them look nice to start off the race. Texas Motor Speedway here. This 1.5 mile quad oval. Been racing here ever since 1998. It's been on the schedule of pretty much everything NASCAR. You gotta watch out for turns 1 and 2. It's not banked as much as turns 3 and 4, so you have to back out of the throttle and really work those pedals. Sometimes blow up the car to get the car to turn. Turns 3 and 4, you can almost, for a few laps, you can really flat-foot it or really get to it in 3 and 4. But you got to watch out because the more wheel you put into it, the harder of a time you're going to have coming out of turn number 4, Chris.
Yes, indeed. And looking at that temp, that track temp at 74 degrees. So, with it being, you know, not too hot, not too cool, this track is going to be, I think, a really fun one to watch here tonight. As the pace car pulls off.
Green, green, green.
And green flag is out. Wow, and Matthew Hunsick are going to get a really good lift off of that green flag there. And they are neck and neck going out of turn number 2. And look at that, the 3. Matthew gonna jump out to the front. Zach, the pole sitter, not even gonna get to lead a lap yet.
Hunsaker with a good start to this race, able to take the lead away from the pole sitter, Zach Deutscher.
Josh Small following back. That's 2 positions so far that he's lost. But Justin Steves, not sure what happened, but he has lost 14 positions. I'm not sure if he just started from pit road. I'm not seeing any sort of you know, that there was contact. I don't know.
You know, the car could have just got out from underneath him coming out of these corners. It's very likely to do, like I talked about, the wheel input here at Texas. If you just get behind on it, so to speak, it'll just, there you go. I think we saw another driver having problems there coming out of turn number 4. Turn number 4 is very tricky and treacherous as Deutscher takes the lead away from Hunsaker yet again. So
it looks like just needing a couple of laps under his belt to get the those tires, you know, where he, you know, where he wants them to be at for that speed to appear there, and he's going to jump to that lead. A pretty decent sized one too.
Already 0.3 of a second. Hunsaker, though, not completely trying to let him go. You had Bridgman there in the 84 in 3rd position. Jimmy Hudson in 4th. So then Huntley and Brandon Moore battling for the final spot of the top 5. Slaughter and Gordon going at it. 7th and 8th.
Nice little group, 6 cars right here, all fighting for position.
Yes, that starts with Huntley, Slaughter. Huntley, Brandon Moore. Huntley, Gordon, Slaughter, Brandon Moore, Tyler Myers. I want to say Anthony Lane is a part of this group tier 2.
So far, so good. 7 laps down. Got 134 laps here tonight. Roy Daggett also losing 16 positions. Right along there with Justin. So I wonder, it seems like he's like very slow on the track. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can figure out those speeds here. At 164, 165 compared to about 170. So he's about 3 to 5 miles per hour slower.
And Troy Daggett, I do believe, might have started from the pit lane with Christopher Campbell. Not 100% sure, but I think that might have been the case with those two drivers.
Still got some great battling right here.
I don't think Pete Woodrum was able to grid this evening, so unfortunately Pete not able to take part of the race. Yeah, we're going to have a few good battles still for a little bit. I do have to speculate until, you get a little bit of green flag running, you get spread out. We still might have a couple of straggling battles left here and there, but for the most part, Texas can just be one of those tracks, Chris, that that just cycles out to just being a very green flag running feel to it at times. And then there's other times where Texas can just be a chew 'em up, spit 'em out type of Dover-like carnage. Huntley setting his sights on Jimmy Hudson. Hudson kind of maintaining that 5th position, but Huntley looking to take it away.
Gonna get a nice run up to him. Right there on that bumper. Pretty much laying in on that bumper, getting nice push there. And as you can see on your track map on the top right, that this truck is almost filled up in every section with cars.
And with having, 25 cars here, it's going to be quite easy to do that. Once you get spread out like we talked about, you're going to have cars everywhere. It's not quite a full field, almost, just about, but just about 10, 12 cars shy of it being a full field, right? But already, lap 13, and like you said about the track map, you're really starting to see them spread thin, or spread out, I should say.
And there it goes underneath the 6.
Good 3-car battle here for 5th position. Slaughter in tow with Brian, trying to get by Jimmy Hudson there. Jimmy Hudson going to lose 2 positions in the span of 1 lap, maybe more. Ooh, Logano.
Yeah,
Oh well.
Mike Slaughter takes that position.
Some of the best battling at the moment on track is the squabbling for 5th position.
Yeah.
5th on back. You got Brandon Moore now trying to navigate by Jimmy.
Yeah, and it's kind of wonder, I mean, 16 laps in, that's 3 spots he's lost now. 5 total since qualifying, or since starting this race. Kind of wonder if maybe he's already, you know, on the verge of really trying to save those tires. Maybe he's used them up a little bit too much, and now he's got to save a little bit more. Or what that case is.
Yeah, some drivers, it's really easy to burn your tires off so quickly. And then others, they're so gentle, they're so easy with those throttle inputs and everything that you need. And they can save tires, like, man, they're still quick, they're still consistent. There's almost no fall off with their lap time. It's incredible. You just, they're so easy and gentle with their inputs. So sometimes that's what you need. Other times you got to be very aggressive, very aggro. But Texas, it's one of those tracks that can punish you for being aggressive with your driving techniques. Got to be very, very careful. Sometimes you got to start backing up the corners a little bit further, a little bit more, a lot earlier. Even with the fresh tires, you don't necessarily want to send it down into these corners here at Texas. "20 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, and 24 degrees of banking in 3 and 4. So that's why these drivers, also the angle and trajectory of 1 and 2 is a bit different from 3 and 4. That's why you have these drivers have to wheel it down and back it up like they have to. So Matthew Hunsaker in 2nd position, again, getting by Philip Bridgman. Philip dropping back to 3rd. He qualified in 4th position. Jesse Gordon, one of the biggest movers, he's +8 at the moment in 4th position. Another big mover at the moment, along with Jesse, is Kevin Roy, up 8 positions in P18. So everything's nice and casual in the early goings here at Texas Motor Speedway, BNR Cup Series action at the moment. Nothing too chaotic, too spicy going on. Everything's kind of chilling, playing its course. Like I said, still early days. Joe Stipe here in 13th position. He's got a decent buffer behind him. He's got Nathan Lyon behind him in that 38 machine. As you can see, coming off the corner there in the same picture shot, Nathan Lyon. Zach Deutscher, Matthew Hunsaker, Jesse Gordon, that's the top 3. Philip Bridgman, Brandon Moore, that's the top 5. This battle that you're seeing right now is what we're getting. This is from 3rd on back, as Bridgman's going to get tight, walk it up the track a little bit. That's going to open the door for Brandon Moore to just throw his car on by. At the moment, side by side, going through 3 and 4. Bridgman going to have the momentum coming off the corner. No, he's not. Brandon Moore going to have the momentum from the bottom side. Here comes Slaughter. In 6th position now. Huntley falling back a couple of positions from which he went up forward. In 7th position, Jimmy Hudson back in 8th. Josh Small 9th. Aaron Bradford rounds out the top 10 in 10th position. Oh, there goes Bridgman now, kind of falling down the running order. His seems like maybe now his tires has went by the wayside. Was up in the podium positions, now down in 7th position. Phil normally has about a good 25 lap, speed pace. That he's normally one of the short to medium run drivers. Nothing against Phil. He just, like we talked about earlier, it can be very hard to make those tires last a complete fuel cycle, a fuel run. And sometimes it's just comers and goers, movers and losers, so to speak. Terminology closing in on 100 laps to go.
All right. Looks like Hunsaker back to the lead. These two have been up here for almost pretty much the whole race.
Yeah, Matt kind of dropped back a little bit early goings there after he led a few laps, and then Deutscher got back by him. Philip Bridgman was up here in 2nd position, but his like I call it, his short run speed has plateaued, so to speak, and he is now down in 7th position. But like I just said before you had returned, lots of comers and goers, theme rising to the top, so to speak. You're going to have movers and losers, winners and goers, comers and goers, so to speak. So that's what we're seeing here at the 100 to go mark. Brandon Moore in 3rd position. Mike Slaughter in 5th. Huntley has kind of stabilized there in that 6th, 5th position.
Yeah, and so looking at a little bit of the race info, we got 70% fuel as we always do. So we're looking at probably, you say pit window's probably going to open up here in the next 10 to 15 laps, I'm going to say.
If not, all, yeah. I want to say between now to lap 42, maybe, Chris, 45. So, yeah, here between now to 10 laps from now is when we should start seeing pit stops. Maybe lap 50 should be the max that they should go. I don't see anybody going past around lap 48. But we're
Right.
closing in on it. My apologies. I kind of got to slacking and didn't get fuel mileage window, but it's probably 40 to 45.
So we're
It's about
probably
normal.
gonna need a little bit of contact with the wall right there. That's the 54 of Matt Bryant. Oh, up in the wall again. Looks like those tires are not doing too well right now. And that's the thing with any of these NASCAR race cars. I mean, once you get loose, whether it's like a small slide or connection with the wall and having to get off of it, it feels like you're spending the next like lap, maybe 2 laps, just trying to chase that car around the track, so to speak, and get all 4 wheels back underneath you. Ooh, as he's gonna really miss turn number 2 entrance right there.
And then not just that, but sometimes it may take, a lap or, a couple of laps or so to get that car back to stabilization, to back to where it felt before it kicked out sideways, or you lost a little bit control and you heat those tires up more than they're wanting to be heated up, right, Chris? So,
Right.
like say for instance Martinsville or Bristol, used to, you would lose your momentum and it could take laps to build it back up again. Well, same rule of thought applies anywhere. Like it could happen to you anywhere, especially here at Texas, where it's really momentum wrapped based, and you lose that momentum. You have to get out the throttle more than you intend to be, or stay out the throttle going through 1 and 2 longer than you need to be. You're going to lose more ground, more time to the race leader that you're behind. So as you see pit stops now occurring here at lap 40, the 40 lap mark, Chris Bryant in the pits along with Nathan Line. I was going to say Chris Bryant. These should be scheduled, especially with Nathan coming down, and the 24 of, you should know that.
Tyler.
No, yeah, it's Tyler Myers. Everybody wants to change numbers on me, so I blame them,
Right. But yeah, Matt Bryant desperately wanting those tires. It looked like he was getting a little wiggly on 1 entrance and then kind of just washing up into 2's entrance for a few laps there. So really needing those tires and try to figure out a different strategy to maybe make those things last for the whole next cycle. But Matthew Hunsaker out to a almost 2-second lead over Brandon Moore. Brandon Moore under attack by Mike. Oh, Mike not really gonna be able to hold it down.
And he got arrow tight there just as Brandon Moore was going around the outside. So that's a very, very easy thing to do, easy to happen as a faster driver sees that lane on the outside and going to go around you, and then all the air gets taken off your nose. Perfect example right there. So a whole lot of work in the wheel, the throttle, maybe the brake a little bit, or maybe the best case scenario could be just lift out the gas pedal sometimes. Glacier, our pole sitter, right before these main green flag pit stops occurring, really fallen off the pace, not completely down the totem pole, but just a few positions down from where he was, right? He was the race leader, but now down in 5th position, 4 1/4 seconds back, right before the leader Hunsaker pitted, and he pits on the same lap as Hunsaker. So Brandon Moore Slaughter, Gordon, Huntley able to stay out and go longer with Skylar Sixton, Bradford, Joe Stipe, Justin Steves, the driver you were very worried about earlier at almost the start of the race. We speculate the car might have got away from him earlier, but
All right, looks like the leaders are in. And then there's Zach. Zach already out. Matt with a 3-second lead. Oh, and there's contact somewhere. Look at that. Brandon Moore going to be in the second position now. Zach down 3 positions. But 47 laps in and still caution free, knock on wood.
yes, 47 laps completed. Hunsaker, your race leader again after green flag cycle pit stops are completed. Like you talked about, Brandon Moore found second position at the moment. Slaughter in third, Deutscher fourth, Huntley fifth, Nathan Ryan in sixth position, Bridgman seventh, Bill Hells in eighth, Kevin Roy ninth, and Skylar Sixton rounds out the top 10 in 10th position.
Looks like Paul Lawson with some issues earlier on in this race. There we go. Matthew passing the 54. Matt Bryant again. Matt now going to fall to 3 laps down. And it looks like the one slowing down to come down pit road. Oh no,
And
he was just slowing down.
Pete Woodrum, he wasn't able to grid, so he's going to be off a couple of laps, I do believe. So 9 laps down is what Pete is, I do believe. So I'll tell you, the battle back there for just outside the top 10 or 10th position. You have Jimmy Hudson, Josh Small, and Kevin Roy back here. They've been slicing and dicing the past few laps I've been watching this on the scoring page, they've been really flipping back and forth. Along with Skylar Sixton back here, so Sixton trying to pull away from everybody. Hell's trying to run him down.
Yeah, and then behind them, they've got a 6-second lead over 13th. These guys are some of the cleanest drivers I've seen as a broadcaster. Usually we've got 2+ wrecks, it seems like, but these guys made 2 wrecks in their whole season. No,
yeah, every now and
is
again.
plagued.
What happened, Chris?
I say Martinsville is plagued with cautions, but that's Martinsville.
Yep.
It doesn't count.
I was going to say, every now and again you'll have some tracks or races, not necessarily tracks, but every now and again there'll be an event or some races where, hey, it kind of maybe looked like a demolition derby, but at the end of the day, it might have been a great race. But, you know, it does sometimes rely on the track or the temperature. So a lot of things mix in together with making great racing or good racing, putting on a decent race, right? You know, you can have a caution-filled race, but it still be a good race. But yeah, like you say, 57 laps at the moment, caution-free. Not quite halfway through with this run, but we're getting there. Next pit stop cycle should come around anywhere between 80 to 89. Go back, look at some of the biggest movers again. Mike Slaughter up 9 spots. Nathan Lyon is up 11 positions in P6. Down in P9 is Bill Hells in the 53 car. He is up 15 positions, riding in that P9. Kevin Roy, just a few positions behind Bill in 12th position, is up 14 positions from where he first started this race. Texas, throughout the years, with the different track configurations that they've done with 1 and 2 and regrading it and adding more banking or taking some away, vice versa, what they've done with 3 and 4, 1 and 2, this, that, and the other, just changing the whole aspect of the track in a sense. Original Texas was a handful to drive, and then they reconfigured it and made it even more of a handful to drive. It was a car killer whenever it was first introduced. Sent quite a few drivers to the hospital. Ricky Craven really shortened. I feel like this track kind of shortened Ricky Craven's career. If it wouldn't have been for that concussion he had, I want to say it was the first year of it being opened, he was driving the 25 car for Rick Hendrick. He had a gnarly crash out of turn number 4, either practice or qualifying crash, and might have been practice crash. And yeah, I think Ricky even will admit himself that it probably shaved a few years off of his career here. Tony Roper died here at in a Craftsman Truck Series race. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, he was one of the 3 that died before Dale. A guy, somebody made a documentary about it on YouTube. It's a great watch if you look it up and find it. That's it. I'm pretty sure that's also what it's called. The 3 before Dale.
Huh.
It's a good little watch. You learn a little bit more stuff. Blaze Alexander, Tony Roper, and what's the third one? I think Blaze died after, so it was Tony Roper, Kenny Irwin, and Adam Petty, I believe. It might have been those 3. Yeah, Blaze dies in an ARCA crash at Charlotte. It's a terrible crash. But basically what all 4 of those gentlemen had in common, along with Dale, 5 in total, basically some of their injuries was a vascular skull fracture. So a lot of people, there's been a few people get that type of injury and they survive it, but it's a heck of an injury. But yeah, it's one thing. Hans Device and like full face helmets has done a lot for the sport, and a couple of more points to the harness belts that you have to wear and be confined into these race seats. So safety come a long way. Ooh, Nathan Line and Bill Hells almost got together there on the last lap by Chris. So that's kind of what slowed Nathan down a little bit to allow Jimmy Hudson to kind of catch up to him, because he didn't want to completely plow over Bill. So 69 laps complete and in the books here, Chris. Matthew Hunsaker still your race leader after starting in P2, getting a heck of a whole shot jump on the initial start. He kind of looked back, saved a bit of tire, but then pounced again. But Brandon Moore, I don't know if he just had a problem, but Brandon Moore is closing in on Hunsaker. He just took 4/10 of a second out of his race lead. Slaughter kind of in tow. He's 3/10 of a second back of Brandon Moore. So they're kind of there. They're back within striking range of Matt.
Like Brandon dealing with some lap traffic. Taking that preferred line, but it's not really going to slow him down. He's going to continue to gain on that. Matt's going to get a great run out of 2, though.
So just to point out next week where the BNR Cup Series is heading, Chicagoland, and it will be a night race. So I'm not sure if there'll be another transitional night race, but it just says here on the schedule, night race. So back-to-back mile and a halves here, and then Daytona. So something to look forward to.
My favorite, one of my favorite super speedways.
Now Brandon Moore going through the quad oval there on the front straightaway. Oh, caution
Philip
is out here.
Bridgman.
74 laps in. Oh, Philip, after starting inside the top 5, I do believe, is going to be having a moment on the back straightaway. Wonder if he just got loose and just kind of had a long slide.
Okay, so it starts.
Yep, that's pretty much what happens. The car gets in the center of 1 and 2. The car just gets a bit out from under him, uncontrollable, and just goes into this long-winded slide and just can't really get it settled down, can't get it controlled, but
Alright, so just over halfway.
first caution of the race. And this is going to change some things up because some drivers might have just been thinking, man, we haven't seen a caution yet, so are we even going to get one the rest of the race? But now, that's going to put us right in that window of being awfully close. Not going to be able to make it from here, Chris. Not at all. So, like I said, those drivers were really wanting to at least get to even getting to lap 85 to 89 wouldn't have made it home. I don't think they would have needed to have gotten to at least 90, right?
Yep,
So
so gonna need another gas stop here. Tires probably as well, but I don't know. Take tires now, and you've done this whole race 76 laps. I think at this point you kind of know what can my tires do.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I
But
think
then you
this,
get a reset here,
yeah,
and instead of having to make another green flag scheduled pit stop, you're getting a nice little breather here. You're going to have a moment to recatch yourself. So well, Chris, after seeing a bit of a domination kind of from Hunsaker, who's your favorite after halfway to win this race? And it looks like he's trying to set himself up to be in a good position, a good maybe podium or top 5 position, and maybe pounce here in the later stages of this race. But that's also kind of what Brandon Moore is doing as well.
yeah, I was gonna choose either. Yeah, I was gonna think about Brandon Moore, but then Mike Slaughter up 9 positions from that qualifying, but then also Bill Hale's back there in 6th.
Yeah, Bill's got a good run tonight going, that's for sure.
Alright, this time around they're gonna line up 2 by 2. All right.
Well, as Limp Biscuit would say, Chris, we're just going to keep rolling to the restart zone and get this first caution out of the way. Is this caution going to be a breeder of cautions, or are we going to see caution after caution now? We went 74 laps caution free. Green flag all the way. We almost had 2 green flag cycle pit stops, Chris. Pace car is off. Back to the safety and confined of pit lane.
Green, green, green.
Here we go. The 3 jumping out to a pretty great start, just like we saw him on the initial green flag. Mike gonna get a great run on the outside. The 3 losing speed down there on the inside line. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there.
There was a twitch off the 14 machine, but nevertheless, great speed, gets it going around the outside. Hunsaker going to have a look down on the bottom lane. Slaughter keeping his car in the middle lane, going through 1 and 2. Lap 79, Slaughter taking the lead away from Hunsaker. As we skim back a little bit further and just see what's going on down the running order. Troy Daggett trying to make a pass on Bill Hill. You have, like I talked about earlier, comers and goers. Campbell making a move on Myers. Myers tried to shut the door, but Campbell was there.
Ooh.
Oh,
That was close.
tightness. Yes, crisscrossing going on.
Oh man. Yeah, Chris
That
Campbell.
could have been bigger. Thank goodness Campbell knows what a brake pedal is. A lot of drivers don't, Chris. You know that.
Oh yeah. Arca braking. We got a guy in my league that's named Ivan. We call it Ivan braking because he's one of those ones that sees the wreck up in front but doesn't know that there's a brake pedal there.
Oh, I love those people. You know, my favorite type of guys that would say, there's a wreck happening ahead, but yet plow you through it. Like you guys become part of the wreck because he wanted to Days of Thunder it, and it was like not the greatest idea. It's like, well, if you were shouting it from behind me, seeing it happen in front of us, like what were you doing? So 60 laps to go here, Chris. It's anyone's ball game still, I feel, because still have a pit stop remaining for us to take because we can't make it home from here.
Yeah, and that's gonna kind of piggybacks that question I asked earlier of, I wonder, somebody out there is gonna take gas only and someone out there is gonna have to take tires, but it's just a matter of who is gonna take that chance on running the final, 55 laps of those tires.
Exactly. Who? Don't mean to sound like an owl, but who is going to take these chances as Hunsaker has gotten back by Slaughter? There's just so much bottleneckage and chaos back here for just a top 10 position. And it is just one because only 10 people can be inside the top 10, Chris. So there's a squabble for 10th position. Jimmy Hudson trying to fend everybody off with a stick. You have Justin Steves, Josh Small. New to me in the 10. I don't know why I locked that phone for. I need that phone. Come back here.
Ooh, right there.
Oh,
We saw the
yes,
6 kind of
Jesse
get
Gordon. There we go.
swallowed.
Yeah, he did. Hard nose racing. Jesse Gordon is a lap down, so he must have had a trouble during the green flag pit stop or something to make him a lap down. He was up inside the top 10 before green flag cycle pit stops occurred, before that caution came out, or well before that caution. You know what I'm saying, Chris?
Yes.
So don't know why Jesse's way down here for. He was up there battling in the top 5. So there's always something that's going to leave you stumped for the night. Bill Hells and Aaron Bradford going at it, 53 and 5 machines. But this is going to allow everybody. Justin, I don't know if he's going to maybe peek and look 3 wide, but no, he did not. He's settled. He's just chilling. And if the opportunity arises, you might be able to sneak on by 3 wide on that short back straightaway. That back straightaway is not as long as people think it is, but yet they still go for bold moves that no one ever tries to do before, you know what I mean? So, Hunsaker leading Slaughter by just a quarter of a second. And right behind Slaughter now is Deutscher. Deutscher has found his second wind and away from 5th position, now back to at least 3rd for Deutscher, our pole sitter. Brandon Moore, 3rd position there in the 88 machine. Huntley in 5th position, riding on board now. Troy Daggett's right back there behind him. And Skylar Sigston in 7th position. Then you have the tussle going on between Bradford, Hells, Steves, and everyone behind them for 7th, for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th, just on back there. Ooh, we have a car. Oh, that's Pete. Pete Woodrum trying to stay away from everybody. Normally he'd be battling intensely with everyone, but he is. How many laps down is Pete? A lot. He's he had some connection problems. He's 27 laps down. Wasn't able to grid, unfortunately, but normally Pete's giving everybody what they got, but at the moment he's just trying to log laps, get points, and stay out the way. Our fastest lap tonight, currently, I know we are only 92 laps into this race, but our fastest lap that has been ran is by Troy Daggett, a 29:41.2 this evening.
Here you can kind of see that distance from that first pack to that second pack. Well, as I say that, I mean, the first pack kind of breaks up a little bit, and they're not that far away by the looks of it on the track, but they're still... This pack's kind of slowly separating itself. And now, the question kind of comes out of, you know, with the pit cycle being all kind of, it really wasn't messed up. You know, they were going to green flag pit probably about 5 to 10 laps, you know, if that caution didn't come out. So as far as pit cycle goes now, I mean, we're going to start seeing guys come down here in the next 3 to 4 laps, I wonder. Oh, yeah, pit stop's already starting. You know, gas right now is going to make it to the end, so let's see if we're going to have gas takers only. Looking at these times, Yeah, I'm gonna say there is some. Brandon Moore, gas only. Only a 10-second stop for him, whereas like Tyler Myers, 15-second stop for him, so he took tires. And you can kind of see that distance. Oh wait,
That's either
Tyler
going to
hasn't pit
be
yet.
right sides.
Tyler hasn't pit yet, sorry.
That's going to be right sides and fuel or just fuel. So, yeah, I agree with you. A lot of
Ooh.
gambling going on here.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you don't do?
And here's a good perspective. Matthew Hunsaker, the 3, leading almost all this race. Tire stop there, 15-second stop, all 4 tires. And then there's the gap between him and Brandon Moore, who took fuel only. Brandon could have taken right side with a 10-second stop. I feel like there could be tires in that 10 seconds because it takes another 5 seconds for the crew to get to the left side and to change those left sides. So I'm thinking Brandon probably took right sides only while he got some gas.
"35 laps to go. Pit stops are happening for the final time. We have drivers on different strategies on the closing ends of this race here. What to do, what don't to do, try to stay out longer, pray for a caution, start doing a caution rain dance, so to speak, in your sim rig seat there. What do you do, what don't you do? That old saying, what would you do, hoo-hoo, or a Klondike bar. So, what would you do? Would you wreck your grandmother? Would you would you just let her win that checkered flag she's always wanted her entire life? Or would you wipe out entire pack a field of cars? Or what would you do? Anyway, so you have Slaughter leading currently, but at the moment we don't speculate that could be the race winners or leaders when this cycles out. I mean, the guys with the fresh tires that just pitted, like Deutscher, Hunsaker, and even questionable Brandon Moore there with his strategy. You think Brandon Moore's just trying to get the clean air, leapfrog them in the pits, pit with them on the same lap, and do a different strategy, leapfrog them entirely, and hopefully their fresh tires, he can offset their fresh tires just by being able to get out there and log laps at that point, right? Just stay ahead of them is his point of view now at the moment. And they're also, for their strategy, the guys that just pitted just a couple of laps ago, just a few laps ago, for their strategy to completely cycle out and work true, they need not to see a caution. They don't want a terrible towel to wave.
Right, and what's concerning here for Slaughter, Huntley, Troy Daggett and all them is that's how close Brandon Moore is to the 5th place car of Bill Hales right here. So, I mean, he's gaining to get his lap back. And I'm looking at this time delta, and Brandon putting down consecutive faster laps than all the leaders that are still out on the track. There he goes past the 53 of Bill Hales. Oh, up into the wall. I'm not sure. It looked like Bill was way below the that dotted line, so there's plenty of room. So I don't know if Brandon just didn't know that there was plenty of room.
Could have just been an arrow wash thing too.
And there's Matt.
Slaughter has pitted.
I don't know. This could be Brandon Moore's race to lose here. Everyone else that has pitted has taken all 4 tires. Brandon, the only 10-second pit stop. Everyone else at a 14.50 to a 15.20.
That was such a close maneuver there with Brandon Morris trying to just slice and dice to get his lap back there front.
Caution south.
Philip Bridgman. Again, the 84. Bringing out both cautions here tonight. Oh, right in front of the 3. Oh, dear. Oh. Whew.
Was that net code, or did Philip just get loose? That happened so quick there. Just oh yeah, he's still hanging on for dear life from earlier. It looks like maybe. So.
Oh, the 3 kind of got into him, and then he. I don't know why.
And then he.
Yay.
So Matt's on fresher tires than Philip, but Philip we know is kind of having some handling issues from earlier, right? So maybe just didn't give the car in front of him kind of time to kind of navigate the track in a way, but everybody's out there at the same time, so
Uh-oh.
yeah, what do you do here? Do you just pit again? I mean, if you're Brandon Moore, you can pit again because you just squeakingly got back on the lead lap before the caution comes out. So if you're Deutscher, Hunsaker, and others, Slaughter, that just pitted, man, that's such a shoot yourself in the foot type of moment. But,
right. And
man,
the other side of this, you know, going into the last, you know, 20 plus laps is Brandon Moore stays out. There's only 10 cars on the lead lap because only one person gets that wave around for Lucky Dog, and nobody else is going to get waved around because Brandon Moore got his lap back before that caution came out. But Brandon Moore, we see on your screen, obviously he did pit. So everyone going to get the wave around now, as everyone has now taken their final pit stops. But Brandon Moore got those fresh tires.
Just to point something out, do you think the car that caused said caution that helped the 84 the rest of the way around, like he was sliding off the corner, I don't think he was going to spin that time necessarily, but he you know, the back end was kind of trying to kick out, but Hunsaker just kind of helps him the rest of the way, right, and gives him a helping hand. But Hunsaker's a lap down at that point. Just like a debate between drivers or amateur drivers, right? Me and you, Chris. Do you think a lap down driver that caused a caution should get their lap back?
Yeah, and that's one of those things that just comes down to race control. Because, you know, obviously he was going to be the first in line for that lucky dog, so he's not going to get the lucky dog for having contact. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I mean, based on leagues and what they feel, that's a good point to bring across.
I mean, we've seen it before in the real world happen. You know, certain different series. IMSA uses a wave-by system. NASCAR, they kind of incorporated it from NASCAR. They're owned by the same family. But anyway, you know, IndyCar at one point had a wave-by. I think they still do, but you know, it is something to look at, like you say, because you know, it, as that rule states in almost every league now from NASCAR, like alternating, you know, the race, like alternating outcomes. You know, if you don't do this, then that never would have happened, right? Like a lot of what ifs at the end of the day. But just a good point to make, I suppose, like something to talk about or bring up. Like I feel like it's something that NBC would have brought up in the real world. So 25 laps to go. Maybe when we go back green, we can do a crank it up. See, I feel like right there, right? Like if you pause it right here, I feel like Bridgman's kind of loose, but he could just be coming off the corner that way, right? And like, see, perfect ankle right here, cockpit view. Like, you've got fresher tires as being in the shoes of Hunsaker. You have fresher tires, and you just drive up on someone like that, but I mean, you're just helping him the rest of the way get around. So anyway, back to the action. About to be going back green here shortly.
Hurry up, and the rest of these guys don't have to line up single file on the inside line. After the 54 here.
Huntley, Steves, Daggett, Small, and Campbell will be the top 5. Bradford, Hells, Moore, Hudson, and Roy rounds out the top 10. This race truly changed on its head here.
Right.
Flipped around.
Now I gotta pick new, and I'm gonna go with Brandon. Can't say still. I mean, I was with the 3 earlier, but I feel like Brandon Moore might get this done. I don't know. Look at that line on the inside.
Green flag, green
Gonna
flag.
cause a lot of stack up issues, possibly being a straight line with all that open real estate to your outside. Not sure if they have a rule on crossing or jumping out of line before the line here. Bryant out to a demanding lead, almost a quarter a second there.
As they try to jockey for position behind him. Some of the best positions some of these drivers have been in all night long.
Right, yeah, Chris Campbell fighting to get back on the lead lap there. That caution came out. That first caution came out, gave him the lucky dog, got back on the lead lap, and now he's sitting in 3rd place. Brian Huntley mostly sitting around between 5th and 10th place all night, and is going to find himself up there in the lead. Going to lead a lap here. Probably will lead another couple laps. He had taken that lead right as the caution came out. Man, the 3 car is just super fast, already up to Brandon Moore here. Brandon's still in the same position as he was when the green flag dropped, but Matthew up about 5 positions, I think. I think he started right there in about 12th or 13th. That just kind of shows that gap there between 1st and 8th. $20 laps to go. 19 this time.
Daggett kind of hit the apron on the apex of the corner, but that didn't really halt his momentum too much. He still carried the speed off the corner. He showed a nose to Brian on corner entry, but Brian shut the door at the apex of turn 1 and 2 there, getting down to the center. Daggett carrying some good speed down the back straightaway, but Brian going to make him go to the outside here. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Roy's going to try to diamond the center of the corner on that outside. Oh, Brian just about puts him in the hot dog stand. Here comes Campbell. Campbell with a good run here, but he's going to get tight, arrow tight, walking up a half a lane. We got 2 drivers that are plus 18 positions at the moment, Christopher Campbell and Bill Hells. Like I said earlier, a while ago, just some of the best positioning they've been in all night. But Bill's pretty much been here, it feels like, all night, but not where he started, I tell you that. But Kevin Roy sitting in 12th position, plus 14.
Brandon Moore on the inside, trying to get 2 positions.
I don't know how he stayed off of Josh coming out of turn 4 that lap, but by golly, they stayed off each other.
Matthew right in behind him, lurking in the shadows of these 3. Josh gonna lose 2 spots.
So Brian Huntley, Christopher Campbell, Troy Daggett, Justin Steves, and Bill Hells rounds out the top 5. Brandon Moore applying a lot of pressure to Bill, but at the moment not phasing him. Hunsaker trying to drive back in 7th place. Josh Small right there in 8th. Hudson 9th, Slaughter 10th, Bradford 11th, Kevin Roy 12th. Zach Deutscher can't seem to rebound after being kind of stuck a lap down when that caution came out. He was one of the cars that got the waiver round with Slaughter and company. So they're just kind of stuck on equal out tires and equalized tires, my apologies. And they're just kind of stuck in the dirty air. They can't really advance or anything, unlike what Hunsaker was able to do, get inside the top 10 here, kind of start fighting for a top 5 position. One of the best battles on track here. It is the battle for 4th between Hell and company. Brandon Moore, Hunsaker, and Steves there, all under a blanket. Coming to 11 laps to go, this time by at the stripe.
Brandon just can't break away from Bill here. Brandon should have a great run going into 3 and 4. Not enough to clear out of 4 though, but they're gonna get very close to Chris Campbell and Troy.
Yes, this battle for 2nd raging on as the battle for 4th. And company, like I said, right here, they're catching and have caught Christopher Campbell now. What is that going to allow Brandon Moore to... Oh no, 3 wide.
Oh, Chris Campbell just gets like a straw and sucked right.
No, he did the smart. he did the smart choice, wise choice there. A lot of years of experience there, just to get off the throttle and say, "Hey,
Bill,
I still want to finish this race."
Bill
So
drove it in deep there on 1 and wasn't able to really stick it.
yeah, Hunsaker kind of stayed on that outside lane. I'm not saying kind of pinned him down, but just in that middle lane. So whenever Bill kind of got arrow tight, he started to rush, but he knew he couldn't go up the track because Hunsaker was trying to pass him to the outside. So 8 laps to go. Now Hunsaker trying to get by Brandon Moore, but Brandon Moore, that's going to be a feet and a half to try to get by Brandon now. You have Huntley and Daggett. That Daggett and Huntley could be in an intense battle right up here, coming out of turn number 4.
So we could potentially, right here in the top 4, potentially see 2 of the top 4 guys go for win number 2 this season. Either Brandon Moore, our winner last week at Talladega, or Brian Huntley, our winner of our first race at Kansas. Yeah, the very first race, Kansas. Yep. I don't believe Daggett or Hunsaker. I don't think neither one of those guys have a win. But can't forget that Mountain Dew Amp Energy, which is now the National Guard car tonight, but the winner at Talladega last week.
Hunsaker looking to the inside of Brandon Moore now for third position, trying to take away third position. With 5 laps remaining in this race. 2 cautions tonight. Oh, might have been a bit of a hip check between the 88 and the 3 there.
88 gonna hold him down low on the exit. This battle in this general area for the last 15 laps has been awesome. Ooh, ooh. It's very loose still. Not sure if he just brought it up way too... Oh, someone just blew an engine. I think that was the one on pit road. Oh, and the 88 just dropping now. So can Brian Huntley win? Not sure why.
2 laps remaining.
Why my tower
Not
says
sure
that he's on pit road.
No, it's a glitch in the matrix.
It's funny.
You have Hunsaker trying to go around Daggett on the outside. And he's going to complete the pass, putting himself up there in second position with white flag waving, 1 lap to go.
Oh, I think he's
And
gonna be able to
Hunsaker.
catch. Oh no.
He's there. He's at the back door of Huntley of the 12 car. On the final lap of the race, what's going to transpire? Huntley going to be in the middle lane. He's going to now slice and dice down the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4, but Hunsaker around the outside. Gonna get a side draft now.
Oh man,
He's
he's gonna steal it. Oh my! That was very, very close, but I think the 3 got it.
Hunsaker gets it by a fender.
Wow.
Maybe a splitter.
We gotta go back and I can get us a good view of that here. I do have a start finish. Wait, they're on. Here. Oh, from you. Yep. Wow.
Yep, by a fender. Hunsaker, the winner here tonight by a fender. So, what a heck of a race this evening. Hunsaker just wasn't going to be denied, apparently. That taste of victory. Huntley second, Daggett third, rounding out the podium. What an epic duel to the finish.
Alright, looks like we got Troy. Gonna get Brian and Matt here, but Troy up first. Mr. Troy Daggett getting the 3rd place win, or a 3rd place finish here tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. That was a hard fought one.
Yeah, we saw pretty much the field just flip, and that final caution there with was about like what 20 30 laps or whatever, I think. But 20 laps ago, I think that caution came out. But yeah, great run in there. Pretty much all night, a clean, quiet race. Just lurking and being there when it needed to be done. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, thank you. I needed that first caution because as we are about to grid, I exited out with the upcoming packet loss. I started in the pit, made it just in time for the green flag, and going out of the pits. I was a half lap back. I mean, picking up spots. Had a great setup. Um, then that first caution, get back up there. Then and with the setup, it was really good. I could make moves with it. Um, and that last caution, when everyone else pitted, took tires with 25 to go. It was down to me and Brian. I was trying everything, but I burned everything up. And the last few laps, I was just hanging on to because it was so loose.
Yeah, great race, indeed. But yeah, pretty awesome, epic, outstanding, amazing, whatever you want to describe it with, to come back and finish on the podium here after what plagued the race to start with that you were mentioning. Seems like it's been happening a lot lately to people, packet loss or whatever. I don't know what was in this update that we had here recently. Having those types of issues myself, but yeah, congratulations, Texas, third place. We had the Chicagoland next week. I guess Chicagoland. How do you do on that track?
And the truck series, I do pretty good. And these cup cars, I haven't raced these cars in like years, so just trying to get the feel back to them and everything. Um, but Chicagoland's a lot of fun. I'm expecting to hopefully be like this one. Not very many cautions and a lot of green flag legs and hopefully good passing because the wire track you can run low and high there, depending on how your gearing is.
All right, man. Well, you got anyone that you want to give a shout out to or thank you to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you and I think Bill's in there too for broadcasting, announcing this thing. Brian and his admins for putting on this league. It's a lot of fun racing this Sunday night Cup series or Sunday evening for me or afternoon. Sorry, and the truck series, a lot of fun. I thank my wife and kids for letting me come on here and race twice a week in the series. 1 5 Studios for the paint design. Barb Custom K engraving, etching for let me put their truck name on the truck. And that's the truck series. I just like to thank everyone else, all the drivers and everything. I'd say congrats to Matthew Hunsaker. That was a great pass at the line there for the win over Brian.
All right, man. Well, congratulations getting that P3, and I look forward to seeing you again next weekend.
Yep. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you too. All right. Well, I guess we can give it a few more moments and see if we got Brian or Matt. Not any sign of them yet. Well, while we're waiting for them, let's go ahead. We'll break down the results here. Matthew gonna get scored as the winner, as you saw, win by a fender here. Brian gonna get second. Troy Daggett in third. Brandon Moore gonna get fourth. Bill Hales fifth. Justin Steve sixth. Josh Small seventh. Chris Campbell eighth. Mike Slaughter ninth. Kevin Roy gonna round out your top 10 there. And looking a little bit further back, 11th through 18th. The Skylar Sixton, Aaron Bradford, James Hudson, Zach Neuscher, Joe Stipe, Nathan Lyon, Jesse Gordon, Philip Bridgman, 18th. And from 19th back, Tyler Myers, Anthony Lane, Matt Bryant, Pete Woodrum, Xavier Salgado, Tyler Martin, Robert Amaral, and Paul Lawson. Alrighty. Bill. Will?
Yes, Chris.
Guess it kind of wraps up our race here at Texas. Pretty fun one. We had 3 cautions. Or no, 2.
Yes, 2 cautions. Exciting photo finish there at the end. Some beating and banging going on at the stripe to get to the line, or out of turn number 4 to get to the stripe at the line. Yeah, pretty good Texas race overall. Excellent race. Lots of different shake-ups, strategies afoot. Different things happen back and forth. Pretty much, I think Chicagoland might be the same way. That's going to be one to watch next week. So that's in store for us there as we turn the page over to Chicagoland in Texas.
Oh, looks like we got Brian.
Hmm?
All right, Brian making it in. I know not the finish that we were wanting tonight, but P2, it's still as good as still better than I guess P3 and everything behind. But I'm gonna say congratulations still. Take us on a little trip of that finish there for you.
Well, I am phenomenal at keeping an eye on my relative, and I kind of knew that it was either going to be him or Brandon because the way that everything got shuffled up with that caution and Matt somehow getting that lucky dog, which the admins are talking about, but
Oh, wow, he got it.
yeah, he got it. And they're saying that he shouldn't have, and should have went to Zach, and that besides the point. But yeah, I kind of started lifting a little bit more once I knew I pulled away from Troy Daggett there. Had my teammate behind me too as well, Chris Campbell. I was trying to get him up on past him, and uh, hopefully he would have had a good finish. But I did some mirror driving down the backstretch. Wasn't expecting Matt to come that quick, but yet again, these are next gen cars, and when you ride your quarter, you get pulled back very quick. So I tried to make the battle interesting at the end there. I didn't want to really slam him into the wall. I was trying to get close enough to him, but fortunately, he got me by .014. So yeah, that's how that finish went. Really.
Yeah, it's a bummer to to end up finishing P2 on a pass like that out of turn 4, but still a P2, so a great finish. Great points for you today.
Oh
And
yeah,
great points overall.
that kind of just put me back in the lead. Only by 10 though. By 10. Mike Slaughter is behind me by 10.
Well, man, anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank you to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys up here in the booth. You will a bit worn out. Now it's time to unwind for the night. I'd like to thank my admins, myself, Christopher Campbell, Josh Small, Tyler Myers, Jason Pearson, Aaron Bradford, whenever they're here, and to all the drivers that come out here on Sunday evening. Unfortunately, sometimes we can time it right if an actual race is on TV, and sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. But off to Las Vegas next week. It's going to be um, a doozy for sure. So we kind of lined it up even with the setups coming out. So that was not planned at all either. So that'd be good, especially with the new update. So everybody was on the old set, so it was a little janky. We had to do some adjusting to the cars, but otherwise, thank all the viewers that came out and watched your stream. Chris now knows if you want to join, he knows where to send you. He's got the link and all that. You can get in. Whoever's watching Chris's, because I know he had people asking, but Chris now has all the information. So if you can't get a hold of me, get a hold of Chris. He can guide you the right way. So, but once again, thank you guys, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week with hopefully a win under my damn feet again and get number 2.
That's what, yeah, I was talking about that earlier when that green flag flew for that final restart, and it was either you or Brandon Moore in the top 5 that were, searching for that second win of the season.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
There's quite a few.
congratulations. Do what?
Yes, sir. Oh, no, you're good.
But yeah, congratulations, P2. Yeah, go get them again next week, and we'll see you again.
That's the plan, buddy.
Alrighty. Have a great night.
You too, bud.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say that's gonna be a wrap for the night. Sounds like we've got some behind the scenes things going on in this race, and yeah, Will, I don't know if you caught that, but he mentioned that yeah, the 3 did get the lucky dog on that final wreck.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it was just spaced far enough apart from where the initial contact started, and the 3 just carrying the looseness halfway down the backstretch. iRacing saw it as a good time gap, I guess. But yeah, we're walking the race number 6 next weekend at Chicagoland for a night race. I look forward to seeing everyone there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, maybe even that notification bell so you're aware when we go live next weekend. And just in case, maybe another incident happens next weekend like it did tonight before the race started. I had to restart everything, so I had to have a new live go out there. So yeah, look forward